Hi everyone, welcome to another live lesson with me, Matt Stead. Hope you're all keeping well and enjoying this sunshine if you're in the UK or wherever you are. It's been a while, hasn't it? Now, just a reminder that at the start of these videos, the sound in the video always buffers a bit. So what I tend to do is just play a little tune for you just whilst it settles down so you can have a relax and get ready. So get your ukes tuned up. You don't need to do the new tuning yet, and just have a relax and then we'll get started in a couple of minutes. And if anyone could just let me know if the sound is working all right today, guys, that would be absolutely fantastic. Hope you're all doing well where you are. Let's get started then. Oh, hi Peter, how are you doing? Yeah, no, it's nice to have sunshine. The butterflies are flying about outside. It's like, I want to take photos. Let me know how you're getting on. So how this works is we normally have a bit of a chat at the start just to get going. Then we'll get into the workshop proper and I'll explain you how to do this new tuning of your ukulele. Now, don't panic. Whenever we talk about tunings of ukuleles, a lot of people are off put because they think, oh, well, it's going to ruin my ukulele, or once I get it tuned in this one way, will I ever be able to get it back to normal? I'm going to make it really simple, showing you how to detune and how to tune back up again. So no ukuleles will be harmed during the course of this lesson, and you'll soon be able to go back to normal as well. So that's good. Oh, thanks, Peter. Good. Sounds working fine, which is great. And then after the lesson, hi Karen, after the lesson what we're going to do is I'll stick around and I'll answer any questions you've got. But if you enable your live chat, if on your YouTube, if you just go to the top of where the chat is appearing and click rather than top chat, live chat, you'll see everyone's messages and you can take part as well. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Brilliant, thanks Steve. Because quite often we're kind of afraid to ask questions because we don't want to put our head above the parapet. But normally there's like several other people desperately hoping that someone asks the same question. And sometimes I forget to tell you stuff as well as we go, and I'll do my best to answer them. And then one last thing before we get started. Hi, Betty. Most of you that, well, hopefully all of you that signed up for the sheets before yesterday, you'll have got an email off me today because rather daftly on our worksheets, I put the G chord in the wrong place. I was obviously having a really funny 5 minutes. Thanks, Hilke, for spotting that. You saved my bacon. So I sent new sheets to all those people that had already paid for them before yesterday. If you downloaded them today, they'll be fine. They've all been updated since then. And if you want to download them, they're still available. Links in the description or at the start of the live feed here, you'll find them. And they're quite useful because it talks a little bit about the tuning and some really common shapes. Plus, we've got a few tunes in there today, which will be really, really great. So let's get going. What on earth is open C tuning? Well, when we think about our ukulele, it's quite an unusual tuning in our ukulele in general, isn't it? Most instruments, the notes go from low to high, whereas on most ukuleles, I'm playing low G today, excuse me, so mine's slightly different, but most ukuleles, the lowest two notes are on the inside, and the highest two notes are on the outside, and that's called reentrant tuning. So already our ukulele has quite an unusual tuning. And a lot of Hawaiian players will detune one of the strings of their ukulele. Often it's referred to as slackening the key. And if you've ever heard of slack key guitar or slack key ukulele, that's where the term comes from. In Hawaiian, it's ki ho alu. And in fact, in Hawaiian, really slack key doesn't just refer to slackening the keys. It refers to a whole systems of tuning and also a whole repertoire and kind of a way of life as well, to be honest, in Hawaiian. But that's where the original term comes from, slackening the key. And people learn that if you changed one of these strings on the ukulele, just one of them, you get a lovely open chord, which makes it really easy to play up and down the ukulele. In fact, you can play hundreds of songs with just one finger, which is really, really neat. And that's what we're going to explore today. We're going to delve in with some looking at seventh chords as well, how to turn those shapes into sevenths, a little bit about minor chords. We're going to learn the Keith chords, where he adds, Keith Richards adds a really lovely suspended note to create that lovely kind of rock and roll, Rolling Stones sort of tune, which would be great as well. But next lesson, we're going to go into a lot more depth and we're going to look at melody playing in some Hawaiian style as well. So today is just going to be relatively gentle, introduce the new tuning, show how you can use it to play some really, really simple songs and have loads of fun with it, basically. So hopefully that all sounds good to you. As I say, any questions as we go, just give me a shout and I'll do my best to answer them. So I'm going to bring up the worksheets on screen. Let me just make them a little bit smaller so you can still see me. There we go. And I'll talk you through the tuning first of all. We'll go through the important thing. So when we think of our ukulele, some of you might have heard it referred to as C6 tuning. That sounds weird. What does that number mean? C6 tuning. In fact, funny enough, Steve, who's my friend and a great teacher from up in Washington near Newcastle, his name is C6 Steve, which is a great play on words, isn't it? So C6 tuning refers to the open chord. When we play our ukulele normally, in normal tuning, the chord that we get is a C6. That's a C major chord with the sixth note added. And the notes that make that up, not in the order that we strum them, but in the order they come in the key, are C, E, G, and then an A. That's the sixth note of the C major scale. That's why it's called C6. Now that tuning allows you to play loads of really simple chords, doesn't it? Things like C, F and G. It's really easy to do minor chords. And generally I think of this as the best tuning on the ukulele because it's the one we all use. It makes sense with our chord shapes. It's similar to the bottom four strings of a guitar, so it all makes sense. But let's have a look at open C tuning, which is a really neat thing. All we do is rather than playing a C6 open, we tune our ukulele so that it's a C major. So we have a C, an E and a G, but instead of an A, we just have another G. Now here's how to do it. You can either use a tuner or you can use your ears and copy mine, and I'll also show you a neat trick. We're going to take the A string of our uke and we're just going to tune it down to a G note. Now if you've got your ukulele tuner, stick it on the headstock, make sure you're on a G. There's another way to check that we've got it right and to do it by ear, which is really simple. Let's come in on close camera here so you can see it. If you put your finger on the third fret of the E string and pick, you'll get a G note. And then just play the string below it, and it needs to match. So mine needs to come down. See how they're matching now? It's a good way of training your ears as well. You can also, if you've got high G, I've got low G today, but you can also check it against the G string as well to check you've got it. But this way's easier because they're two in the line. Okay. Now that we've slackened our keys, the notes that we have are C, E, G. If you've got high G, that's fine. Yours will sound like that. And then we have another G. Now when we play all of those strings together, we have a C chord. Like that. Isn't that neat? So that means to play a C chord in open tuning, we have no fingers at all. Let's give it a go. Just strum that C. Fantastic. Now, when we think about it, most of the chords that we play on ukulele, most of the songs tend to be in the key of C, don't they? Now, in the key of C, that means that we can have this brilliant thing where we can play any other major chord just by taking our fingers up and down. Because if we know that these open strings are a C chord, every time we play a note or a chord on our fretboard, 1 fret higher, we go an upper note, aren't we? And after C comes C sharp in the chromatic scale, just the natural scale that all of the Western music is based on. We have a C sharp. So if you bar the first fret, C sharp major chord. To play a D chord in open C tuning, just bar the second fret. How cool is that, right? D sharp, E. There's a nice one, that E chord, which is a horrible one to try and play in re-entrant tuning, in normal tuning, is now easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? It's just the 4th fret. We have F here, F sharp, G, and so on and so forth. Now, you could either just work it out that way by just going, okay, we've got C, so that must be C sharp, that must be D, that must be D sharp, and so on and so forth. But what I've done on the diagram that you see up here is I've put 3 of the most common used chords in all of music. We often call them the 1-4-5 chords, okay, 1-4-5. What does that mean? Well, it just means that in the key of C, it's the first chord, C, not D, not E, the 4th chord, F, and the 5 chord, G. We just name them after where they come in the scale. C, F, G, 1-4-5. And as a lot of you already know from mechanic appealers and things like that, if you take part, much of modern music is just based on those 3 chords, isn't it? It's amazing what you can play with those. Hi CT, hope you're doing well, hope you're keeping well. So this is a nice way of remembering the chords in open C tuning. Just think open is C. Next most common chord, F, is bar in the 5th fret. And then the next most common after that, G, bar in the 7th. Now that's really, really useful because we can start playing songs with that. Let's do one, I'll show you one that's on your sheet in a minute. No worries, Karen, hope you're doing well. You've got your A tuned down to G. That's the important thing. We're all ready to go. Fantastic. Now, if we play a C followed by an F followed by a G, that can be heaps of songs. Let's get a bit of a reggae strum going. What I'm going to do to get you to do this reggae strum is just tap the strings of your ukulele and then strum up. Just like that. You can do it down here if you prefer. You can actually get a drum beat then. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to keep that rhythm going, and then I want you to take your finger up to the 5th fret and keep it going. And then the 7th fret. And I'd like you to do, let's just check it. Yeah, I'd like you to do 4 in C, just open. 2 on F, 5th fret, 2 on G. Keep that going round. Stir it up, little darling, stir it up. Little darling, it's been a long, long time. Little darling, it's been a long, long time. Immediately, we can play a song straight off the bat. Stir it up. Little darling, stir it up. Little darling, it's been a long, long time. Little darling. So it just shows instantaneously how useful it is that we can just play a simple song just like that. There's a brilliant slack key guitar player, although he does play slack key ukulele as well, from Hawaii. Many of you guys might already know him. He's called Led Kaapana, and he's got a ukulele made by the same guy that made this one for me, Chuck Moore. And his says, "Just press" along the fretboard, because a famous Hawaiian saying from slack key is "just press." Because to get those major chords, it's the same on guitar. You just take that finger up and down. And Leg Kaapana has this phrase, all the way up and all the way down. Just press all the way up and all the way down. That gives us all our major chords. And if you think about it, if we know that C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C again, we can play every major chord in the world now with one finger. How cool is that? That's part of the reason people love this tuning. Really, really neat. So let's put that to effect in a song. So what we're going to do in your sheets, if you haven't got the sheets, you could just play along with me easily in this tuning. You might not be able to read the words, but you'll be able to follow along absolutely fine. So here we've got classic pop song. We've got Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine. And this is a classic 1-4-5 song. That just means we're using the first, fourth and fifth chords from the key of C, which is C, F and G. And it follows a really, really simple pattern. It's like the easiest thing in the world, right? I'm just pulling mine a bit closer because I'm printing mine out so that I can play along with you guys. It goes C, F, G, F, C, F, G, F. Now you might think, hang on a minute, hold your horses, Matt. I can't remember those chords. You've only just taught me those chords. Just think of the frets as numbers. We're going off, 5, 7, 5. Off, 5, 7, 5. And off, 5, 7, 5. And off, 5 and 7 and 5. Okay, that's simple. That's our 1-4-5 chords, C, F and G. I'm just strumming straight eights here, guys. That just means I'm using the nails of my right hand to just strum down. The reason it's called straight eights is there's 8 strums in every measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just the nails of that right hand just come in lightly down on the strings. And then if at any point you get excited and you want to add some up strums, you can do that. Otherwise, just keep going down. And you'll get this lovely simple strum. Works on loads of pop songs, okay guys? So that's going to be the strum that we're going to do. So the verses are just that pattern over and over. The choruses just goes from G to F over and over. That's really easy, right? Because we just know that now is 7th fret. Walking on sunshine. 5th fret. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and don't it feel? And then we get to good. We go back to our 1, 5, 7, and 5. Over and over. Now, you might find when you've been doing that for a while that your finger starts to ache because you're having to press all the time. If you find that happening, feel free to double up that finger. Sometimes I'll actually use 2 fingers. Just give me that little bit more strength. Because we're not using this one at the moment, it can just double up over the top. Or if you find it starts to really ache, you can also change fingers for a little bit. So there's no rules for this. It's just getting as clean a sound as possible without doing yourself a mischief with your right hand. You want to be comfortable. That's super important. Now, those of you that are into your soloing, I don't want to go into a lot of detail about soloing today because I want to make this really accessible for everyone and keep it really, really simple. And But just let me show you quickly. If you want to do a little solo to this, because we'll play, I think, verse, chorus, then we'll do a little instrumental verse. So if anyone wants to solo, they can, a bit like we do with our canacapella, and then we'll do another chorus to finish off. Now, if you want to solo, the C pentatonic scale, which we use in the key of C, will be slightly different now. We're rather than doing all the dots on the A string, if you're one of my canacapella little cheat we use, we can't do that now because the notes are in a different place. But we could play C note on the C string, open E, G at the 3rd fret. Now, if we play the bottom string nearest the floor, it's not going to be an A now, it's going to be another G. So there's no point in playing that. So if we want to get an A note, we need to play the 2nd fret of the, what is now the G string, was the A string. And then if we want to go up to a C note, we've got to go up here. So your pentatonic scale from the C string now is 0, 2, 0, 3, and then 2, 5. Okay, just in case you fancied having a little go at a solo scale, you can have a go at that. And a little bit of a tip, I'll just stay in close camera for a minute. If you do want to do any melody playing, and we're going to get into this in a lot more detail in the next workshop in open C tuning, just remember that all of the notes are the same, but anything you would have played on the A string, you've now got to play 2 frets higher. So where you would normally play a C note is now here, because we've tuned the string down, we've got to compensate by going higher to get the same note. All right, just in case, not expecting anyone to do a solo, but just in case you're feeling it, you think I want to have a go, you can have a little go now. Don't worry, Sue, you're happy to join us. You'll soon catch up. It'd be absolutely fine. Just make sure that A string is tuned to a G. Now, this is a good point, actually. You might find, because you've changed your string for the first time, folks, if you haven't played in open C before, you might find that this string tries to tune itself up again. It will happen sometimes. It wants to go back to the tension it's at. And the thing to do is just check. If you play a G on this string, 3rd fret, just check it's the same. If it's gone a little bit higher, just pull it, slacken it off again. And you'll notice me doing that quite a lot when I've changed the tuning. I'm a bit pernickety, so I'm sometimes, even while I stop playing, I just take my hand up there, but just a good way to check. All right, so just a reminder for Sue and for everyone that's catching up, we're going to do C, F is going to be the 5th fret, G the 7th fret. Verses are off, 5, 7, 5, and the choruses are just 7, 5. Yeah, absolutely, Karen. This is brilliant for slide ukulele, and a lot of slide guitarists play in open tuning as well, because it makes things a lot easier. Absolutely. Let's give it a go then. Let's have fun. We'll do that round and round just to get us going, and then we'll go from there. I'm just gonna sit up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. 5, 7, 5. Off. 5, 7, 5. C, F, G, F. Keep that going, guys. C, F. Brilliant. I used to think that maybe you love me. Now, baby, I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day that you knock on my door. Now every time I go to the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. Alright now, 'cause I just can't wait till the day that you're coming around. Now G to F, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on feel good? Alright now, don't it feel good? Let's bring things down a little quiet strum now. I used to think that maybe you'd love me. Now I know that it's true. Just concentrate that strum on the top 3 strings. I don't want to spend my whole life just waiting for you. Now I don't want you back for the weekend, not back for a day. Alright now, well baby, I just want you back and I want you to stay. Here we go, here's our chorus. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and don't it feel good? Alright now, and don't it feel good? Take a little solo if you want to, otherwise just keep hitting. Off, 5, 7, 5. Good. Off, 5, 7, 5. And C, F, G, and F. Good. Just keep that going now to the end. Walking on sunshine, baby. I'm walking on sunshine, baby. I feel love, I feel love, I feel love, it's really real. I feel love, I feel love, I feel love, it's really real. I feel love, I feel love, I feel love, it's really real. I feel love, I feel love, it's really real. I'm on sunshine, baby. I'm on sunshine, baby. I'm on sunshine. There you go. So that was just a little bit of fun, wasn't it? But really simple how just one finger all the way up, all the way down, just press. It gives you all of those major chords. Just really fantastic, right? Just absolutely brilliant one. Now, this next bit is in on your sheet, so this is a little bit of a bonus trick. Just in case anyone has joined us late, we're in open C tuning today, so all you need to do to play along is make sure that your A string is now G. So just slacken it off until it matches the 3rd fret of the E string of G, and you can play along with these chords, right? So if you're a ukulele teacher and you wanted a really accessible way to get kids playing if they've never played, or if you just want to try something different, isn't that great? Just one finger and it allows you to do so much. Now, this next bit, as I say, isn't on your sheets, but if you want another really common chord, which is simple to do to create loads more progressions, we really need to add the 6th chord, because I think in any key, the chord most common after C, F and G is A minor. That's the 6th chord we call it, because we count up C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so an A minor chord comes up in loads and loads of pop songs, and it's often put together with C, F and G to complete the progression. Now, it's actually really simple. If you think about how you would play an A minor normally on your ukulele, we would normally just put a finger either 2nd or 1st on the 2nd fret of the G string, wouldn't we? That would give us the notes A, C, E, and another A. Now, we can't do that because our bottom string now is a G. So that would actually be an A minor 7. Don't worry about why, but it's missing that A at the bottom. But remember my trick that I told you? In open C tuning, any note that you previously played, you just need to put your finger 2 higher. So where a normal A minor would have no fingers on the G string, or the A string it would have been, I should just say the 1st string, this one here, we're now going to put a finger, could be any finger, I actually like my ring finger, on the 2nd fret. Now when you strum, that's an A minor chord. We've got an A note, a C note, an E note, and another A. Gives us an A minor. Now the reason I'm showing you that one, we're not going to do a song with this in right now, but that gives you the tools to be able to play thousands of songs, some of the most common songs ever played in the world. Things like I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. That's I never know if it's Mraz or Mraz. Gosh, that makes me sound old, doesn't it? That song goes C, G, A minor, F, and it's one of the most common chord progressions of all. So you would play C, I won't hesitate, G at the 7, take my love. That A minor I just showed you, da 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 da, 5th fret for F. I can't sing that one, it's way too high for me, but you get the idea. So C, G, A minor, 2002, and F. I think that's the chords to Shotgun by George Ezra as well. It's also Lewis Capaldi. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. If you want to play along, it's open C, 7 for G, A minor, and 5 for F. So that gives you the A minor. Now you can play thousands of songs, which is really, really useful, right? So there we go. Really great, fascinating chords we can already do. Let's take things a little bit further now and show you how all of those major chords you can turn into 7th chords. Now, as soon as you see this, if you don't already know this, you'll suddenly think, oh gosh, that makes sense. That's so easy. And that's what I love about this tuning. It just all makes sense. It's just so simple. If we were to, I'm not going to up tune again, but if I was to tune back to normal tuning, the difference between a C chord and a C7 is we put our finger here on the 1st fret of the A string, don't we? So this is a C7 is what I'm getting at in normal tuning, isn't it? Now remember, golden rule, everything we did in normal tuning, we have to do 2 frets higher. So a C7 in this tuning is what would have been a C. And funny enough, a normal C major, we can also play here. Just like we could open, they're both perfectly valid Cs. But a C7 here. Now imagine that our nut here is acting like our finger would as a bar, or like a capo or a cap. Some people say capo, some people say capo. I like capo, even though it's meant to be capo apparently. Anyway, our finger's acting like a capo, all right, or like the nut. Now that means we can use the same trick we did earlier with our major chords for our 7th chords. What I'm getting at is if we know that this is C, if we take our fingers up and we bar the 1st fret, it's now C sharp. 1 higher would be D, higher again would be D sharp, 1 higher again is E. And if I go way up here to the 5th fret, same shape, I've got an F. Now remember, because that was a C7 when we started, I should really say C7, C sharp 7, D7, D sharp 7, E7, F7. This is the important thing that I'm getting at. To turn any of these major chord shapes that I showed you before, like C, F and G, into a 7th chord, all you need to do is put your little finger down 3 frets higher, okay? So 3rd fret and open. If I want to turn this F into an F7, I put it on the 8th fret. 1, 2, 3 higher, all right? If I want to play a G7 chord, same thing again, 3 higher than where I played G. Now that's really useful because you'll know that loads of blues songs, they use those delicious seventh chords, don't they? Because seventh chords create a real bluesy sound and a feel of movement. So why don't we see if we can do a song in the key of C using those seventh chords? Let's take a look. If we turn the page, and this is in your sheets, one further, we've got classic 12-bar blues. So if you've never, loads of you will know this already. This might be teaching some grandmother to suck eggs, as we say. What a weird phrase, but anyway. If you already know this, don't worry, but 12-bar blues is kind of like Ron Seal. It does what it says on the tin. It's 12 bars or 12 measures or chunks of 4. What's that mean? It means 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4 in each one of those beats. And note it says 12 of those, 3 lots of 4 as we go along. Now, what we can do is we can do classic quick change blues. That just means on the second measure, we go to the 4 chord. So, in our tuning before, C would just be plain Jane, no fingers at all, wouldn't it? So anytime you see C in this song, just no fingers at all. Now the F7, we're going to play the 5th fret like we did for F, but we're also going to put a little finger down on the 8th fret, okay? So it'll look like this. Okay, then we're going to go back to C for 2 measures. The second line, we've got the F7 again. Back to the open C. Then we've got G7, which is up here. Remember, exactly the same as before, we're on the 7th fret, only this time our finger is 1, 2, 3 frets higher. The beauty about that G7 is to go back to the F7, we just drag it back to. And then fingers come off for the C. And if you want, there's a cheeky little G7 you can put at the end. Let's give it a go. Let's strum that nice and gentle. Let's do it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. F7. 5th fret. Back to C. F7. Back to C. G7, we're going to go right up to 7 now. Back to 5 for F. Open C. And then that cheeky G7 at the end if you can. That's it, we're playing the 12-bar blues. How nice is that? Really, really simple. So, let's see. I think I'll come in close cam for this one actually, so you can see what's going on better. Now, what I like to do, and this is just a personal preference, you don't have to do it, but what I like to do is I actually like to make all the C's C7s as well. I think that sounds even more groovy. So I'm doing this slightly differently to what's written on the sheet. Anytime there's a C, let's try it's a C7. Now there's a trick to this. If you use your little finger for that C, which is now a C7, right? When you go up to F, you can use it to guide you. And then when you come back down, just bring it back down again. So now we're playing C7s up to F7. And we come back down to C. And that little finger can guide you the whole time. And back to C. Cheeky G7 if you can. Brilliant. Another cool thing you can do is that walk down that goes from this G7 to the F7. If you want, you can put in an extra kind of walking chord like this, which is really nice to do, isn't it? If you want to do that, on the G7, F7 bit, just strum 1, 2, 3, move 1 lower, which is technically a G flat 7, and then back to F. I'll show you out one more time. 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that all together. After 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, cool. Now, that 12-bar blues is like a million songs in itself, isn't it? I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm okay. That 12-bar blues is a million songs in itself. Let's stick with a 12-bar blues that everyone knows, right? Everyone knows Hound Dog. Of course, original wasn't Elvis, but we'll do the Elvis version because it has this nice quick change in. And we're just going to play through those chords round and round. You can have a little bit of a solo. Now, again, if you want to solo on this one when we do an instrumental, the blues scale is going to be slightly different as well. It's going to start as it would have been on the uke. Don't worry if you don't know this, I'll show you. It would be C to E flat, off 3 on the C string. F, G flat G, 1, 2, 3 on the E string. Then normally we would add an A to a C, which would be open and here. But remember, now we've changed, we've got to play A here. Actually, we'll play a B flat. Sorry, it should have been a B flat. And then we'll do the C here. So we've got off 3, C, E flat, 1, 2, 3, F, G flat G. And then B flat C is 3, 5 now. Whoops. I haven't practiced that, so you can see I've got my fingers in a muddle. What you might want to do is swap here, just flatten down that finger. See how much easier that makes it. If I'd have done that first, that would have made it a heck of a lot easier, wouldn't it? But there you go. If you want to solo along, there's your blues scale. There we go. Oh no, Esther's only just woken up. That's right, Esther, you're here now. I hope you're feeling a lot better. Hope that ear and everything's is treating you a lot nicer. But don't worry. Oh, Lisa's here as well. Just popped in. Hi, Lisa. So don't worry, Esther, if you've just joined us, we've just tuned that A string down to G. We've done our major chords. Now we're just looking at sevenths, where we're just adding that extra finger. All right. You'll soon get the hang of it, Esther, because you're good at picking things up. All right. So C7 is going to be here. F7 is going to be here at the 5th fret, and G7 here. And we're going to have a go at Hound Dog. Let's give it a go, folks. Let's play it as best we can. I'll come in on close camera, and you'll see how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, C7, F7, back to C7, up to F7, back down to that C7, up to G7, 7th fret, 5th fret, and back to C7. Cheeky G7 if you can. You're nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you're nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. When they said you was a high class, well, that was just a lie. When they said you was a high class, well, that was just a lie. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Try a solo if you want, or just practice along with me. C7, F7, and C7, F7, down to C7, up to G7, walk if you want, Nice, and back down. Good. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Keep it going, guys. When they said you was a high class, well, that was just a lie. When they said you was a high class, well, that was just a lie. Well, you ain't never caught no rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Yeah, well done, guys. Neat, neat. So, the really simple way of playing the 12-bar blues, just like that. Really magic. All the way up, all the way down, just press. You got it right. So, major chords, one finger. 7th chords, just add your little finger 3 frets higher. Now, the other beauty about this, and again, this is kind of a, hopefully this will help you in all your playing, because this doesn't just apply to this tuning, but just think about if you want to play in other keys, within reason, you can just take things up and down. So that was 12-bar blues in the key of C. If we wanted to do 12-bar blues in the key of D, we would do exactly the same thing, only we would start 2 frets higher. So instead of C like this, we'd start with a D, right? Which is just 2 frets higher, because C, C sharp, D. And then the next chord would be 2 frets higher. So rather than playing the 5th fret, we play the 7th fret. And then rather than playing the 7th fret for the next chord, we play the 9th fret, sorry. So that would give you D to G to A. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. To get the tune. Crying all the time. I go right up to 9. Nothing but a hound dog. No, I wouldn't. I get... Sorry, folks, I forget how it goes. I do 2. Hound dog. Crying all the time. Then I got to 7. You're nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. And then I do 9, 7. Well, you were never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. So it's all completely movable. That would give me 12-bar blues in the key of D. And then I could take it up another 2 for E, for instance. So it gives you these movable shapes, which is really, really neat. But I think if you're just starting out, concentrate on the key of C first. But I just wanted to show you how magical and useful that is. So we've got our major chords and our 7th chords all the way up and all the way down. Now, if we're playing in open C, I couldn't resist a chance. Now, there's a little riff that I love playing. From the Rolling Stones, which sounds really great in the key of C. Now, Keith Richards really famously used open G tuning on guitar. And it was really interesting, actually. He used to play a Telecaster, a bit like one behind me, over that shoulder. And he used to knock off the 6th string. So the lowest string on his guitar, he'd just take off completely. And he tuned the others to the key of G, just like we're doing on our ukulele, only on the ukulele it gives us the key of C. So we can kind of replicate some of the stuff Keith Richards used to do. We'll do it better than I just did it, that was a bit rubbish. But we can replicate some of the neat little tricks that he did on ukulele, and it sounds really, really sweet. One of the famous things that he did is instantaneously recognisable. Hear that suspended chord? That one there. He used to put that in loads of songs. That's the start. Start me up, start me up, Start me up, which is kind of a classic, iconic Keith Richards riff, isn't it? Now, to do the Keith Richards little chords, technically we're turning things into suspended fourth chords. That just means that the third note in any chord we're taking up to the fourth. What does that mean? Well, take a C chord. A C chord is made up of a C, an E and a G, the first, the third and the fifth notes of the key of the C major scale. So when we play a C major chord, we're playing C, E and G, 1, 3, 5. To play a sus4, all we do is we take this E note and we change it into an F note, which would be the fourth note in the scale. If the fear gives you a headache or you're not interested, don't sweat it. But if you it's just an interesting thing. A C sus4 is just a C major chord with the third turned into a fourth. That's all it is. And to do that, you just change the E note into an F note. And that's really easy. So the open C chord now in our C tuning is just no fingers at all, isn't it? Not the C7, just that C chord. Mine's gone slightly out. Now the E note is our E string open. So to turn this C chord into a C sus4, we just put our finger on that first fret of the E string. If you want that kind of start me up riff, all you need to do is once off, twice on. Start me up, start me up. Classic Keith Richards thing to do. It just sounds like Stones as soon as you do it, doesn't it? And we can repeat that on any one of our chords. So if we know that now this one up here is an F chord, the fifth fret, to turn that into an F sus4, we just put our finger next to our bar on the E string. Cool, huh? If we want to turn the G into a G sus4, we do the same thing on the E string up there. Okay. Oh, John, bless him. John caught COVID this week, so he's been really knocked out of it. But no worries, John. John, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better soon. We're going to harness our inner Keith Richards next, so you can either just watch and soak it all in, try later, see what you feel like, or come back to us later. All right. Now that's lovely because I've shown you now how to do major chords all the way up and down. So technically, if you think about your uke's got at least 12 frets, that means you know at least 12 different major chords, a C, a C sharp, a D sharp, an E, an F sharp, so on and so forth. You know how to turn those into seventh chords, so now you know 12 different seventh chords. And now you know 12 different sus4 chords, which is really neat in itself. And we're going to use those sus chords to add a bit of a flavour to the next song. Let's take a look at our last song then. If you flip to the very last page now, we're going to have a look at Honky Tonk Woman. Now, this isn't the most PC of Rolling Stone songs. Not that you really get PC Rolling Stone songs, do you? So I apologise in advance if anyone's offended by any of the lyrics, but it's just classic Rolling Stones using these sus chords in the key, and it works in the key of C beautifully. So that's why we're doing it. So I'm not particularly into that the kind of the horribleness of it, but hopefully you'll appreciate it. It's a great song, you know, just for fun. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So this song is all based on the C, F and G. Notice this one also has a D chord in it. Now, you know how to play a D chord, because if you know how to play a C chord, it's just 2 frets higher for D, right? So if I just go through the basic chords and then I'll show you kind of a little pattern if you want to use on this one, where we get this kind of nice kind of Rolling Stones-esque strum going on. And I'll show you how to put those sus chords in to make it a bit more interesting as well. All right, so we start in open C. So the first chord is just no fingers at all. I met her in a gin-soaked... sorry, I'm going to do that again because I was all over the place then. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in... Then F, we know now, just bar the 5th fret. Memphis. Back Back to C. She tried to take me. Now our new chord, D. Just the second fret. Just press all the way up, all the way down. Just a D chord. Upstairs 4. And then up to G. A ride. Let's put those together. 2, 3, 4. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. Open C. She tried to take me, second fret, upstairs, 7th for a ride. Then we've got the same thing again. She had to heave me right across her shoulder, 'cause I just can't seem to drink you, 7th fret for the G, off my mind. And then open. Okay, let's try that all together. Now, I might as well show you that strum now, actually, seeing as I'm doing it. I'm just going to do a really simple Keith strum, which is nothing fancy at all, right? We're just going to strum up and down in the first instance with a little bit of swing. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, if you think about that strum as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. What we're going to do is we're going to chuck on 2 and 4. And to do that, all you need to do is take your left hand and just touch anywhere on the strings lightly. Don't press. If you press, you'll get a chord. If you don't press, you'll get a chuck. So that will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. To chuck on the F chord, or the G or the D in fact, all you need to do is just squeeze and release. Let's do the F chord at the 5th fret. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, off, squeeze, off. Same with D, squeeze, off, squeeze, off. Same with G. Now you can kind of swing it and make things more interesting, but that's the basic premise. Whoops. Now to make it even more interesting, what we can do is start to add those sus chords in. All right, so remember, if I just bring that up again, these sus chords, you're just putting a finger next to your bar on the E string. I like to do it on the F chord. Have a listen to this. I'll do that a bit more simpler. I was doing it a bit of a funny rhythm then. On, off. Maybe on this. See how then it creates this sense of drama. So I'm pretty much doing it on all the chords apart from the C. Maybe this one here. See how now it's sounding really like the Rolling Stones. Let's give a verse a go. I'm going to stay on close camera. Apologies that you're seeing my double chin and not my face. 1, 2, 3, 4. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across her shoulder. Now I just can't seem to drink her off my mind. Now the chorus, if you want, you can do loads of these. Honky tonk women. You can do lots of on and off those sus chords. Kind of like the 12-bar blues kind of riff that a lot of people do. Off, on, off, on. And the chorus is just C and G mostly. On. gimme, gimme the honky-tonk blues. That's it, basically. That's the chorus, right? That's most of Honky Tonk Women, is just that chorus and the verse. Now, just a quick reminder, if you want to have a go at that C blues scale, let me just go through that one more time, because you might want to try a little instrumental on this. It's going to be off 3 on the C string, that's C, E flat, 1, 2, 3 on the E string, F, G flat, G, and then it's A, C on the string nearest the floor, that's 3, 5. C, E flat, F, G flat, G, A, C. And remember that's an A because we've, sorry, it's a B flat. I'm having a funny 5 minutes. I was having a daft moment then. I don't know why I kept saying A. I meant B flat and being daft. That one there is a B flat. A B flat would have been there, but because we've tuned down, it's now here. I'll say that again just for the record because I was having a daft moment. C, E flat, off 3, F, G flat, G, 1, 2, 3, and then B flat, C, 3, 5. Okay, so if you want a little solo, any of those notes will sound great. Okay, so it's, yeah, neat, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it great? I just love it. It's like as soon as you do that, it just sounds like Keith Richards, even on a ukulele. Who'd have thought it? Keith Richards on a ukulele. In fact, actually, Keith Richards does play a bit of ukulele. I know because I saw it on a rockumentary. So there we go. So he doesn't look down on ukes like some rock stars. He's one of the cool guys. Okay, so we're going to go verse, chorus. Then we're going to go verse 2, and then we're just going to do a chorus again. And then I think let's have an instrumental verse, just like we did in Katrina and the Waves. And then we'll do one more final chorus. And I just want you to have fun with this, all right? I think what I'll do is I'll stay on close cam for this one, so you can copy my fingers. So remember, just press. At its most basic, we're just going to do this bar up and down. So if you're not sure, don't worry about the sus chords. Just look at where my bar is and copy it, and you'll be right as rain. Should we give it a go? Let's give it a go. So let's start. Intro's just C, just rolled. Just join me with this rhythm. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across her shoulder. I just can't seem to drink her off my mind. It's the honky-tonk women. Gimme, gimme, gimme the honky-tonk blues. I later divorced in New York City. I had to put up some kind of fight. The lady that she covered me in roses. Well, she blew my nose and then she blew my mind. It's a honky-tonk women. Gimme, gimme, gimme the honky-tonk blues. Let's do an instrumental, save my voice. Back to that F. D. To that G. F. And then C, G, back to C. Nice, let's do another chorus. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across her shoulder. Well, I just can't seem to drink you off my mind. Everyone, one last time. She's a honky-tonk women. Gimme the honky-tonk blues. Again, it's the honky-tonk women. Gimme the honky-tonk blues. And then if we want to do a seventh for the end, third fret, and shake it out. Well done, everyone. That was a bit daft. Sorry, I was a bit all over the place then, but hopefully you got the idea. And this is the main thing I wanted from this workshop. Next week, not next week, sorry, 2 weeks' time, I'm going to take this workshop a little bit further and we're going to look at Hawaiian slack key. So we're going to look at these kind of cool little turnarounds that happen in Hawaiian music, like and we're going to do some kind of some really nice kind of Hawaiian style stuff. So we're going to take this open C tuning and I'm going to show you some really beautiful melodic ways of playing for it. So this one I just wanted to have fun, basically. Introduce the tuning, show you how useful it is. Just, you know, major chords all up and down the fretboard. How neat is that? So simple, isn't it? Taking those chords up and down. And then just to add those seventh notes to turn the chords into dominant sevens, remember just add your little finger 3 to the right of your bar, wherever you are. And then sus chords, we just add 1 to the right of the bar on the E string. It's that simple. And that means you know 36 new chords, believe it or not. Okay, if I got my maths right, 3 times 12, 36, which is absolutely brilliant. And if you want to do that C, A minor, F, G combination, just remember A minor is just 2, 0, 0, 2, which is a really neat one as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick around just to see if there's any questions with any of that at all. Possibly might be, possibly might not be at all. So I'll stick around. Any questions you've got of any of that, just give me a shout and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, I might have to tune back depending on if I have any questions, but let's just show you the importance of tuning back up again, because otherwise next time you get your ukulele out, you're going to think, what the heck is going on? So if we want to tune back up to normal reentrant C6 tuning, we need to take this G string back to an A note. Now, just like I showed you the trick that we can match this G note here in the E string with the open string nearest the floor, we can do the same thing to tune it back again. We need now to match up with this 5th fret of the A string. All right, so we take this G string and we tune up until it matches the 5th fret of, there it is, of the E string. And now, as if by magic, you're back in normal tuning. So to go back up, just play 5th fret of the E string and match this string. You might find your strings a little bit wobbly for a couple of hours afterwards, just because you've tuned it up and back down again. But don't worry, it'll soon settle back in. Some of the best ukulele players in the world alter their tunings during a concert and then they alter them back again. So it's absolutely fine. Just keep tuning it and it will go back to normal. So to tune down to G, match it to the 3rd fret of the E string. To tune it back up to an A, match it to the 5th fret of that E string. You can have loads and loads of fun. Wasn't that great? I just love these kind of these open tunings. If you guys enjoyed that, let me know, because we could look at some really cool tunings. There's loads of different options that we can do. There's some really cool ones like BD tuning. We can look at some minor key tunings, all sorts of fun stuff. So if you enjoyed that, let me know, and we'll do a little bit more of exploring, which would be great. So yeah, oh, that's great. Oh, amazing! Thanks, Stan. I hope you're doing well up there. I've not seen Stan in a while. I hope you're keeping well, mate. So I hope life's treating you well. So yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, Stan? It's brilliant. Even being blind, you can finger those chords. You can work your way up to the fifth fret, and you can use your ear, can't you? Because you know when it sounds like that four chord, the F chord. Just feel until you get up to the right place. Absolutely brilliant. So I hadn't thought about that. It's probably really, really good for partially sighted people and blind people as well. So yeah, really, really, really neat. So fantastic. Oh, Bev, you're getting over COVID as well. I'm wondering if there's another wave going, because that's I think that's 3 or 4 people I know. It's not just you and John. There's a couple of others I've heard. My students that have had COVID. I got a feeling it's creeping back up again, isn't it? Maybe all those booster jabs are wearing off. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, I hope you're feeling a lot better soon, though, Bev. It's good to know you're getting back to yourself. So brilliant. Thank you, CT. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, Esther. I said at the start, a lot of people are quite scared of tune-ins because they're worried, their ukulele won't sound the same again, or they're just a bit nervous about opening up a can of worms. But it's a really great thing to do, isn't it? Just to kind of try something different, which is great. When I used to play kind of guitar on back in the day, I still do a bit now. It's kind of slap key guitar. I used to love mucking about with tunings because it would kind of force you to think about different ways of playing, and it would kind of do some get your mind working in a different way, which is great. So wave in the Midlands. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, I tell you what, just quickly, I'll just see if there's any other questions. But just whilst I do that, let me just show you something cool. I'm just going to grab my guitar. And I'll show you how it works on guitar, because it's quite interesting, really, because we do a similar thing. Let me just tune up a second, because it's probably where I should. So on guitar we tune down. So this chord here on my guitar is an open G. It's exactly the same principle. So when I go up to the fifth fret, I still get now a C, and the seventh fret is a D. That's my 1, 4, 5. So I can still do let's say stir it up, little darling. It works in this key, and you can do these kind of. I'm trying to think. I haven't played this in ages. So that's a bit of honky tonk women on guitar. But in slack key, on guitar, you've got these nice bass notes. So what makes slack key is you get this kind of repeating bass note thing happening. There's that pattern I'm going to show you on ukulele next time. If I come down this way. We're going to learn that on uke. Hear that kind of those bass notes? And I'm going to teach you this on the uke next time. It's called Kealoha, which is a really beautiful old Hawaiian song. I find it really hard playing guitar up here. I normally do it down here, but it's a lovely kind of sound, isn't it? And notice that if I do that, so you can see it there, all the way up, all the way down. It's a great sound, isn't it? Hawaiian slap key guitar. I haven't tuned this up fully, and it's still a little bit wonky, but you get the idea. So next time we'll have a look at those little melodic movements, and we'll take this slap key guitar sound and we'll put it on ukulele. Hopefully you really enjoyed that. It should be good fun doing something, taking that C tuning a little bit further, which would be fantastic. So yeah, definitely. It makes you think about those notes on the fretboard, which is great. And it makes you think about things working chromatically, moving up one step at a time, which is brilliant as well. So yeah. Oh, that's great. That's good to know. Thank you. Oh, it's all happening in Canada as well, by the sounds of it. So yeah. There's a really nice I've played a few kind of Joni Mitchell songs on guitar. She does these nice kind of really minor chords. Those are Joni Mitchell chords. It's really pretty, isn't it? That's from both sides now. It's a really little pretty bit. I love Joni Mitchell. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's great. I love that. Yeah, we've supported them before actually, Karen. That's really cool. Fantastic, brilliant. There's something else I wanted to tell you guys, but I've forgotten. Oh yeah, by the way, just a bit of promotion if anyone's interested. I've made a new website now, and I spoke about this at Canacapila, but I thought it might just be worth mentioning it. That all of my courses that are available on YouTube, so it's over 135 videos, I've kept in one place now. So I've developed a new website. I'll see if I can find it. mattsteadukulele.com. It's the same address as the old one, but I've put all my videos in one place. So they're all available as sequential courses. And you can either kind of buy them as one-off courses if you're interested. There's the beginners, intermediate, next steps, and all that. Or if you're interested, you can subscribe each month. And I'm going to be adding loads of new content on there. So it's not just going to be the 5 courses I've got at the moment. I'm working on a fingerstyle one at the moment. So here we are. I've done a fancy pants advert for the next issue of Ukulele magazine. Where is it? There we go, so you can see it. So mattsteadukulele.com. So if you do subscribe, you'll get the next one for free. So when I do my fingerstyle course, which will be coming up hopefully in the next few months, you'll be able to access that for free. And that's going to be, I'm really excited about that. It's going to have lots of original pieces, and I'm going to show you all the different fingerstyle techniques. But in the meantime, if you want to go over any of those old courses, they're all on there. But I'm using this as my central hub now as well. So if you want to know when the next Canacapila is and download the sheets, that's on here under the live lessons. And the Canacapila page. If you want to know when the next live lesson is, it will be on here as well. I've also put all of those quick tips that I made. I think there's gosh, I think there's like 60 or 70 of them. They're all on there as well in one place for free, so you can watch those all in order. My free indie ukulele course is on there as well, which you can take part and complete for free. So you have to have a look at that. So yeah, take a look, mattsteadukulele.com. So thanks, Clays. Oh, thanks, Martin. Yeah, there we go, Esther. We'll have a look at doing a bit of Joni Mitchell. That sounds nice. So I'll be back for the next live lesson will be 2 weeks today, where we're going to have a look at open C tuning Hawaiian style. So come back for that. Sheets will be up in probably in the next week or so. For that one, so I'll see you then. Don't forget Mechanic Appealer, which is every Monday at 6 o'clock, where if you enjoyed the way of playing chords using numbers, we do that in a lot more detail every Monday at 6 o'clock, so come and join us for that as well. Be great to see you. And it's so nice to be back in the swing of things. Sorry if I'm a little bit rough and ready at the moment. I'm still getting used to getting back to doing live lessons and everything. So if I hit a few bum notes, I apologise. I'm getting back into it. But it's so nice to be back. I've really missed you all, and I love these live lessons. I love being able to chat to you all and seeing who's there and taking part. So thanks so much for all your support, and it's really, really good to be back. We'll be back to every 2 weeks now. So take care, everyone. Enjoy that open C tuning. Get your inner Keith on. Rock and roll. Have loads of fun. And I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.